See what I mean? See what I mean? This goes so deep for black women. If you had a son making that kind of money, would you want him to bring home a woman who had a 13-year-old son from a sketchy father? What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? You cannot use 7.
Would I rate myself?
Just your face.
My face when I wake up, 5, but when I put myself together, 6.
Okay. And how tall are you?
5'5".
Dress size.
I'm sorry?
Your dress size.
A 3.
Okay. So that makes you, if you give yourself a 5, that's average.
Yes.
So average looking women tend not to get high earning men. They tend to get average men. Advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
In order to fully submit, I have to feel like he's in.
Well, then you're gonna die alone. How about that? Let me just cut to the chase, ma'am. You can feel like what you want to, but women like you die alone, straight up, because you think you're better than the men that you qualify for.
No break, no jam, no sense. A joro, jara, joro, joro, joro.
I agree with the video.
Anyways,
You didn't even let them breathe.
Like literally, like the video Okiki is referring to, by the way, is a video that's been circulating around the internet recently from a clip from one of Kevin Samuel's videos. Basically, it was this one woman that is of the belief that she deserves men that of the 10% of wealth or even general attractiveness in the
world.
In the world or dating world or whatever the case may be. But this guy, again, I don't know too much about him, but I've always seen his name around in these places. His name is Kevin Samuels. Completely obliterated her. Like, I didn't like
whilst making sense.
That's the I was not getting into. He made some sense during the video about certain things that we're gonna get into, but yeah, that's even before even I'm not even really here to criticize it, because at the end of the day, like, that is how he chooses to do things. But really, like, what he was getting at is that why do women who fall in line of what society calls average go after men that are seen as elite or whatever the case may be? So Okiki,
unexpected to be successful.
Yeah, like Okiki, you were super quick to say you agree with said video. So you were super quick in that. So please get into that. Like, why do you agree with it?
Of course, is the floor mine?
Yep.
Yes, it is. Say less. So the video was talking about how, the caption was basically, why are they average men, but why aren't they average women?
Okay.
Why is it that average men can accept that they're average, but average women can't?
Okay.
Why do they feel like they can, or they're entitled to date the men in that 10% bracket, the most wealthy or the most attractive men, when they're a 5 or a 4? Do you get what I mean? And I do agree with that. I feel like, we've talked about this, but you guys are going to deny me because we're on air just now. But, when we're talking about it, Ifeanyi made a point. He was like, you often, so sometimes see attractive women who date unattractive men.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Okay.
And that's viewed as okay.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean? But then when it's the other way around, as per an attractive man is dating an attractive woman, you don't. How many times do you really see that? You know what I mean? It's really, it's not really there. But yeah,
attractive,
unattractive.
Yeah.
Society standards of what attractive is.
Yeah. Society standards of unattractive, because we have to be,
Yeah. But that was a good point. That was a good way to kind of intro it.
I just want you guys to talk a bit more in it. So, if I hear anything I particularly disagree with, then I'll jump in.
That's fair. See, this is my thing with the Kevin Samuels thing, because again, he ripped that lady apart. I don't think it was fair the way he ripped the lady apart, But at the same time, I would be wrong to say there were not points in the stuff he said. There were points in what he said because it's like he's going asking her questions about her body, what she looks like, how she even rates herself. Like he gave her a chance to rate herself, and she said a 5, and then Kevin Samuels was like, okay, well 5 is average.
What you are at best is what he said.
Well,
yeah.
Well, so her rating herself as a 5 is an average at best on whatever, number line that Kevin Samuels created, whatever. Cool. So, in light of that, then you can imagine that it's like, okay, you're this, and this is your situation. You're in a decent amount of wage, but at the same time, like, you have a kid as well. And you're quite old. I don't remember the age. 35. I don't even know if the age was said. What?
35.
35. Okay, cool. She was 35. So you have that going for you. Like you have the age, the kid, and how you rate yourself. So in line with that, what would you expect, say, 30 to 40-year-old on a 6-figure salary that is society's like standard of what attractive is?
A Drake or
or yeah, something like that. Like, why do you just believe that, oh, he should come for me? And another thing I particularly don't like as well, and we can get into it more, is this whole thing is that it's okay to call men average or unattractive, or say things such as their hairstyles are childish or whatever the case may be, because I've gotten that many a time. But then when the roles are reversed, it's like we would always get attacked for the most part, like, oh, you're sexist, you're body shaming, or whatever the case may be. Like,
do you know what I just remembered as you were talking about what you were talking about is how a few days ago women said that men only make podcasts to vent their feelings instead of going to therapy. And I was like, shit.
Wait, that's what Ohiz do.
Is that what Ohiz
like maybe they are right.
Yeah. But to what you were saying, could you repeat what you said again? To be honest, because I caught you short there.
Yeah, my whole point is that it's almost become culturally acceptable to make fun of men or put men down for things that may or may not even be out of their control. But at the same time, once you flip the script, it's completely unacceptable to do it. And I don't think that's fair.
I mean, I've always found it funny.
No, but women do that too. But men do that too, sorry.
Yeah, but when men do it, they get attacked though, and they call things like sexist or what. Like, I'm not really saying that men don't stand for women until it happens every day.
Yeah.
But when it happens, for the most part, there is a brigade of women ready to attack him.
Yeah, but that's
and call him certain things like sexist or whatever. Like,
yeah, but that's because women have had a long history of taking that insult.
Yeah, I was gonna get into that. Like,
it's a result of men always doing it and women being not saying anything about it. And now we've come to an age where they're almost fed up about.
Okay, this is my thing though.
Yeah.
But goes without question, women have been oppressed and still are being oppressed for the longest time. But then at the same time, it's like that doesn't excuse you making fun or tearing down other people just because. It's not an excuse for me. Like, okay, fine, that men have been doing it for you, like to you for forever. And I believe that if a man even does it to you now, you have every right to attack back or whatever the case may be. That's completely fair. That's defense at the end of the day. Like, I would attack a man that does certain things pointlessly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like that just doesn't defend. Like, just because there's all that doesn't mean that doesn't excuse you from doing BS. Like, even us, for example, being black in a white man's world and being enslaved for 400 years, that doesn't mean that white people are giving us this pass for us to beat them and lash them on the street now.
That's a force.
Or wherever.
I think that's.
It's a very, like, obviously it's a very different thing.
Yeah.
Very, very different thing. But at the same time, it's just like, okay, there's that and then there's that. And then just because a history of bad has been done doesn't mean, like, the oppressed group of people are allowed to do bad themselves.
Or should be hypocrites.
Or be hypocrites.
You know how black people often say that you can't be racist.
True.
You know, you can't be institutionally racist
Yeah.
because you don't have the power. So you know how black people often say that you can't be racist institutionally because obviously there's that power dynamic. I feel like it's the same with women and men because women have been oppressed so much and we have very few women in power, you know, and it's easy for them. Men can't really be oppressed.
Men can't be oppressed.
They can, but not particularly. Yeah, because it's women who are right now the, you know, oppressed ones, and they are the victims just now. Do you know what I mean? It's not in every situation, but I just feel like that's a better equivalent, you know, to compare it to.
I don't think so. To be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
You have to give me a reason. You can't just, you
because
know.
obviously I'm gonna give a reason.
Like, come on.
Because it's not the same kind of scenario we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. Really. We're just talking about people clowning other people for not fitting into a certain build or mold. So the equivalent of that would be discrimination, which black people can do. Like, for example, calling a white person a cracker or stuff like that. So I think the better equivalence would be if we were, for example, saying that there's a gender gap against men and women are the reason for that. That's when that doesn't make any sense because obviously you need power to
do that.
Like
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, my thing with I understand why people react more when it's the woman that is on the other end because, like you said, it's something that it's been going on.
I think that's the word, reaction. Yeah.
But at the same time, we can't fight. I know it sounds cliche, but we can't fight a wrong with a wrong. And if you're fighting for something, you can't be a hypocrite, no matter how understandable you can kind of make it seem.
Okay.
At the same time, especially because, well, I don't want to do stuff ahead of Olympics, but most of the things men are clowned for, they have no control over. Like literally no control over height, beard, be it the size of your dick or whatever. We don't have any control over that. I mean, I wish we could just live in a world where everybody.
Women don't also have control over, you know, the things they're being clowned for. Well, majority of the things.
Really?
Come on, shoot.
Control over weight and
Yeah, but men also get clowned for weight.
yeah, but we get clowned for height more.
I think so.
don't know
No,
about
I
that,
think
to be
women get
honest.
clowned for not having attack and defense.
Can I even give
Fair
context
enough,
to that?
No, come on, no, please, come on, shoot.
Now use that. We talk.
Yeah, but you said you wanted to give it.
I said should I?
You should.
Give now.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
podcast.
Attack is breasts. Defense.
Are you guys
You can
stupid?
put two and two together.
Attack
You guys
is
are
breast
kids,
Are you
bro.
out?
And defense is bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you guys aren't kids, innit? Like at least I hope children aren't watching. Anyways, yeah, it's just that my thing, like Ifeanyi said, is just that there's an element of, once again, I'm not trying to play down the struggles of women because that goes without saying that struggle absolutely exists. But at the same time, that struggle doesn't excuse bullying in a sense because it's like, just because of that, like, again, let's go into feminism is defined as equality, right? So if you're really on this plight to see equality and whatever the case may be, then you know that, okay, fine, women have been put down for certain things, such as societal norms and whatever the case may be, stuff that women can't control. So then, if you're really on this quest for equality, why are you subjecting men to the same thing? It's not fair, innit? Especially if you say that you want equality. You can't have your cake. Like, you can't eat your cake and have it, innit? You can't, have people. It's almost guilt tripping in. It's like, okay, fine, we were the oppressed gender, so now we're gonna re-oppress you. Like, that's not right.
Yeah.
It's BS.
My stance on it is, whatever you dish out, just make sure you can take.
That's my thing. Like, if you, as a woman, sent for a guy on the TL for his appearance, whatever the case may be, you have to understand corn is coming your way, and you shouldn't have to pull out your sexist card. That's dumb.
I'm going back to the original thing we're talking about. Do average women acknowledge that they're average? From that video.
Do you know the thing is?
Yeah.
Not that I actually had time to think. At first, I was like, no, they don't. But then a lot of women actually do. And things that a lot of women that on the societal scale or whatever aren't even average. Like, they are actually considered paying by a lot of people. They even consider themselves average.
I'm going to play referee for this episode. How do you know?
These just conversations, like even
said referee.
like even what you said, like even what you said off camera, how one of your friends.
What did I say off camera?
Guy, bro.
I beg you.
No, I'm not going crazy. Cool. So what I remember you saying off camera was, how certain women, like, they might fit society's standards of what peng or attractive
One might not
is.
consider them.
Yeah, but they might not even consider themselves attractive. So this could fall for attractive people that people consider average, or whatever the case may be.
I think women have a bipolar disorder there.
Be careful.
No, I don't give a fuck, man. You know what I mean? And when I mean bipolar, I mean that they go from this high to this low.
Okay.
One, like, in an instance, they think they're the most beautiful girls ever.
Mm-hmm.
Then they wallow and think, oh, I'm not really pretty. I'm not that pretty. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So they don't have a stable state of, well, at least from what I've seen, they don't have a stable state of what they actually think about themselves. Because some days they think they're good looking and some days they think they don't, which is human, to be honest.
But do you know what that is? What?
Why just don't care?
It's not that easy.
It is that. No,
it's
listen,
not that
wait,
easy.
let me
I think that's a
explain
self-serving bias.
Let me explain
easy.
something to people. Nothing is ever easy in the beginning.
Facts.
There's nothing you'd ever say you want to set out to achieve and like this is gonna happen. But you can teach yourself to regard the opinions of others less than you do now. That's something that can happen.
You know what's funny?
If you dedicate time
in
to it.
that no, I agree with you. Like, I agree with you in a sense because I was one of those people. That, no, I won't say I forced it, but then as a result of things that were told to me for years, I just started even believing it. It's like, okay, then I'm not attractive in it. Fine, whatever. But I started.
That's cop shop.
Yeah.
You
Anyways,
all this one, forget people. People are just stupid. They don't have sense. I've been telling you, fine boy. Yo. People will watch this and they will see it now, but don't worry.
anyways, okay, cool. So
Let's not get
then,
into that. That's what you say. Let's not get into that.
literally, my whole point is that obviously I was fed this narrative and I started believing it. But at a certain point, it was just like, okay, that is what you believe. I don't care. That may be my truth, but you can use it against me all you want. But then you can against me all you want. You can say it as many times as you want, but at the same time, it's not going to affect me anymore. It's just like, okay, that's the case. And personally, in that department, I'm doing fine. So it's not really stunted me. I'm doing okay, and though I didn't even want to get into that. But the point is, in general, it's just like everybody rates themselves in different ways. You can't really challenge or have a problem with how people rate themselves. My issue is that judging people for what they want, because a lot of people, even men and women, a lot of men do this too, and women do it too, that they would judge people that are in, say, better positions than them, or in that ladder, or higher in the ladder of desirability, and then they would judge them for not looking down at you. Why? It doesn't make sense. You're not there near them, so then why do they have to look down on you? Like, let's go into the forgotten his name, Kevin Samuel. Yeah, let's go into Kevin Samuel, what he said.
Yeah.
About, the woman that rated herself a 5. She's 35. She has a kid. Blah 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 blah. And then she says she's looking for a guy that is in the 10% of attractiveness and wealth. Okay, for the most part, even in line with what you do, from your income, where you live,
you're not gonna meet those kind of guys.
You're not even gonna meet those guys, and even if you do, what's to say that they're going to be into you? Because you're not necessarily in that place in life where someone like you would be attractive to them. You get me?
Yeah, but it's not to say that that doesn't happen.
It does happen.
There are baby mamas who are 35 and according to society's standards of beauty are not the best looking, but do get really attractive men.
Yeah,
but those are
can
anomalies.
happen. Yeah,
those are rarities. Do you get what I mean? That doesn't happen really often.
It can happen, but then it's not this thing that is just like expected to happen.
100%, and it also kind of limits the woman. If you're only chasing a particular man, I mean, have your standards, please. Do you know what I mean? Because if you don't have your standards, then you accept everything.
Yeah.
But then if you're only limiting yourself to an unrealistic category of men that doesn't even you won't.
Why
you're
do
not- you're not
honest? I
appealing to
just want to
them.
pose a question, and Ifeanyi, I know you said you wanted to play ref in this, but I want you to answer
They've
first.
subbed me
Even
into the game.
Nah, I'll play
why
with-
do unestablished people want established people?
because they're unestablished. No?
No. But let me. No, it's easy to say that. Like, it's easy to say that. It's like you know yourself. You're not like you're unestablished, for example. And let's even say you don't even have a plan, at least at the moment, to even establish yourself. Why are you now going for people that are good, established, they know what they're doing in their life, they know how they can even better themselves, and wherever the case may be, but then you're still there. You just want somebody to just basically drag you up there, or basically just kind of carry you through life.
Well,
Why?
Okay, this is going to be a good segue, and I hope it also answers the question.
Okay.
My problem, you see, with the kind of scenario you've painted, the person who thinks like that is only causing a detriment to themselves. So I couldn't care less.
Okay.
My problem is when, okay, let me give an example. In Niger, I always say that the greatest crime you can commit in Nigeria is to be a poor man.
Poor.
To be a poor man. Because you have women and men who are on the same income, but the woman still clowns the man for being poor. Like a poor woman clowning a poor man for being poor. But
That's
you are both
rooted in
poor.
patriarchy too,
But you are both poor. So where do we go from here? I mean, I don't even think you should look down on anyone depending on
period.
yeah, you shouldn't look down on anyone, period. Especially not because of their income, because God knows it's not easy.
Yeah.
And then now imagine someone who is actually on your level, still looking down on you. How does this make any sense?
We're insulting.
Bro, I've been asking this question for 7 years,
No,
and I've only been alive for 21 years.
this like Ifeanyi kind of has a point. It's like a lot of things that, again, I just don't want to subject this to a particular gender or whatever, but then it's like, how can you just know that you're okay? Let me not even just say unestablished and have no plan to get up there. Let's just say you're unestablished, but you have plans, and let's even say you have potential. Fine, let's even say that you have potential. Why must you now only subject like the people you let move to you established people?
I
Like,
think that's good, you know.
it's
If
one
you're
thing to have standards, but okay, look at you, for example. Like, say you are someone that unestablished, yeah, but you're unestablished yourself, but then you have potential, and then you know what you want to do, and you know how to get there, but obviously you know it's going to take time or wherever the case may be.
Yeah.
If you move to someone,
A girl
woman,
who's already
a girl,
established. Yeah.
no, a girl that isn't established at all,
Okay, yeah.
and really, let's even say that she doesn't even have that same plan as yours. She doesn't have let's just pretend she doesn't have a plan, period. And then she wants to tell you that, oh, I'm only going for people that earn this much or are established in what it is they're doing. Is that fair?
Fair enough to her. I mean,
people are allowed to have standards.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, people are allowed to
So,
have standards, yeah.
Just because someone is at a certain level.
Actually, sorry to interrupt you, yeah. Everybody has standards, you're right.
You
But
don't let
the
him
same-
finish his point.
No, I know, but just one thing I just felt was important to say. Everybody has standards, but at the same time, don't you think there's some people just need to be real with their standards sometimes?
No.
I
think
no.
bro. I think
He said no.
let's use poverty
Okay.
as just one. I think even if you are the poorest person on the face of the earth, as in you should still be able to if your standards are to marry a prince or someone like that, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
bro.
100%.
I don't think it's fair for us to dictate to people what their standards should be. My problem, so that's never been my problem. My problem,
If you disagree with
if you
it, bro,
disagree,
come
no
on.
problem, bro, no
And you
problem.
can argue. your
But
point,
let me
man.
just
You know what
finish
I mean?
first. So my problem, like I said, is when people look down on other people who are on their level.
That's what it essentially is, saying
No,
that you
but-
cannot go or move to someone that is on your level, basically. Like, someone is on your level and you're saying, oh, I can't go near that, or you're not the type of person that I want in my life or whatever. Like, you're not there yet, but neither are you. So then, who are you to now tell me, I mean, to be fair, you can accept me.
She can do that.
I mean, she can do whatever she wants. Like, she doesn't have to.
I want to give a reason why she can do that. She can do that because she's trying to get up the food chain.
Okay.
And she's not going to get up the food chain by being with
being with someone that is building.
Well, I mean, maybe she's impatient. I mean, people are different.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe she wants to move up the food chain faster, and potential isn't reality.
Fair enough.
Do you get what I mean? Yeah. Just because he has potential.
Is also just one factor, by the way.
Yeah, we only got one life to live, baby. Like, I can't base.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not speaking for her, but maybe she doesn't want to throw all her basket into potential, because potential can actually capitulate.
Yeah.
True.
You know,
it's
more likely, yeah. So maybe she's looking for someone who's already established. With that being said, would the person who's already established value her? He can. I'm not saying he can't.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
If he values her.
It depends.
It matters if he values her.
Of course it matters.
No, that's not what I'm asking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible that she can.
Yeah.
That he can. So my question is, what's the point then of discussing it? If it's possible, because it's possible.
What do you
It
mean?
is possible, but
I mean, it's possible that someone, let's say he's on level A, she's on level C. It's possible that he can still value her.
that's true.
So
Yeah.
no,
No.
so because it's possible,
And that's why I asked the question. Yeah.
So because it's possible, we can't then say someone who is on level C shouldn't be aspiring to be with somebody on level A, because there's a possibility.
True.
Okay.
Because then because it all goes down to how your monetary value doesn't equal your value.
Yeah.
I think from what I've kind of
does in the real world, but
I think what I've kind of gotten is that I probably sway towards more Ifeanyi's like level of thinking. It's like, yeah, at the end of the day you can have your standards. I'm not saying I don't like this thing where especially men believe women should drop their standards to meet them, or like, oh, you must move to me, or whatever the case may be. My own thing is looking down on people that are on your level.
Or even below. Or even you shouldn't even look down on people who are below.
No. Obviously, you shouldn't look down on anyone. But at the end of the day, it's just ridiculous to me.
How do you know she's looking down on him just because she doesn't want to be with him because he's not on that level?
Depends on the way she.
It depends exactly.
Yeah, but that's what I'm asking. How you can't really know if she says, yeah, I don't want to be with you.
I mean, she can choose not to be with you for a slew of reasons.
What if she actually doesn't want to be with him because he's on that level?
I think it depends.
Because he's not rich enough.
I think it depends on the delivery. If it's delivered in a condescending way, then...
Yeah. Like, a woman could come to you and say, like, you're not, like...
You're a poor man. You're worthless. Look at your mates.
That's
making
not...
money up and down. Look at where you...
How many women actually do that?
Are you not on the same Twitter?
Come on.
I know Twitter.
Realistically speaking, how many women actually who are on the same level?
Do you know why?
Yeah.
We can't say because we can't, unless it has happened to us. But it hasn't happened to us, I'm assuming. And it's not something your guy is going to tell you happened to him.
That's
it's not something to shout about.
So how do you know it happens?
Because we see them talk this way on Twitter. Now, I know that Twitter isn't reality.
Yeah.
We talk about this a lot. But we do see people say things like that on Twitter.
True.
Imagine me dating a man who is earning so amounts. How dare they even move to me? You know, stuff like that.
And how much are you earning? Yeah.
And the person
that's
is
what
most
I'm
likely
saying. It's like people don't own mirrors. In this life thing, a lot of people do not own mirrors, and that's just my problem with it. Like, how can you say certain things, bro? Look at where you're at, and then you're going to condescendingly or rudely attack me, because it's one thing to say like you're not at the level which like I don't even know how to phrase. I don't even know if that's a cool way of phrasing it, but it's just like I seek a man that's here, or whatever. Like there's so many. I don't know how to phrase that in a nice way. I've never done something like that before, so I don't know how to phrase it in a nice way. But then if you go from your fine stability, it's like,
almost have to be nice. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say that. More about the people
I mean, there's difference between nice, polite, and then rude. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be rude.
Yeah.
You don't have to be nice about it, but you don't have to be rude.
Yeah.
Like, rudeness is just unnecessary at the end of the day. Like, you can do it in such a way that even if...
Except provoked.
Literally. Like, you can do it in such a way where it's like the guy might not be your biggest fan after you said it, but at the end of the day, it just shouldn't be a thing that it's clear as day that you were just being unnecessarily rude or just plain mean.
Yeah.
You get me?
And men don't take rejection too well.
At
They don't take it well at all, man.
At
You know what I mean?
all. We
They
don't.
At least for what I've seen. And
We don't.
with with the friends who are women in my life, I mean, anytime they're moving to guys and she's like, I don't want you, the guy starts throwing a temper tantrum.
Or bro, you've seen it so many times. Like, oh, your butt is anyway.
Yeah,
like you're dead. Oh, who wants
Yeah, I
you?
mean,
Like
so
you were
yeah,
just supposed to be a
fine.
B or just something like that.
So yeah, fine. Men are treated
Men
terrible,
take it terribly.
I mean,
bro.
if the guy
But
does
to be
that,
fair, it might be a math thing. It looks like men don't take rejection too well because men are always the ones, more time are always the ones initiating it. So we don't really know if women take rejection well at all, to be honest, because they're not the ones in the position to be rejected.
That's a good show.
Do you get what I mean?
That's
So we
a
don't
good
actually
show.
know the number because the numbers are more in, the women's favor.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I mean?
a good
Because
show.
more time a guy is the one's gonna move to a girl.
Mm.
That's why, and we have mad men, so it makes the mad men stand out more.
Very true.
If girls start moving to the guys, we'll start
Mhm.
seeing trace of women or pattern of women that don't take
Mm.
rejection too well as well. Do you get what I mean?
I agree with that.
It's more of a math thing, yeah.
what would you say to women who think that women shouldn't be moving to men?
Just do what you
When the
want.
21st century grow up, come on,
That too.
you know.
Cause bro, it's it's like I'm
Doesn't
just
matter,
really on that wave. It's just like everyone can do what they want. At the end of the day, if you believe,
And if you get
That-
rejected, you get rejected. It's not
literally,
big
at the end of the
deal.
day, if you're a woman and you move to a man and you get rejected, that's life. Men get rejected every day.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you're a woman that you believe that, like men should move to me or whatever, okay, fine, believe in your source and then hold that on wait. If nothing happens, you can't blame it on anybody or go to church and start crying, God, why doesn't anybody want me?
Can we talk about how women
Hey,
claim
hey.
to want equality?
Okay.
Yeah, but no, they claim to want equality, but at the same time, they desperately want a man who's taller than them. They claim, well, from what I've seen, they don't want to be dominated, but then they want a guy who's taller than her. Not to say that a taller guy is equivalent of domination, but
He's trying his best. He's trying his best not to commit crimes.
I'm
I
trying my
think the
best.
term you're looking for is they want to feel protected.
Yeah, they
That's
want to
the-
feel
that's the
protected.
phrase.
Yeah. Can
that,
you bleep out the domination
no,
properly? They're not kill me.
Do
Do you get what I mean? But yeah, they want to feel protected. But why do you want to feel protected if we're both equals? Why should I be the one to protect you?
Okay.
But we're not in the Stone Ages where we have to use our physicality to or someone's
Sometimes
gonna.
we
Yeah.
Okay. This is my thing with that. Normally,
It's fed up.
back in the day, back in the day, I would have been the first person to say, "Oh, you're so right. That what is this thing that
Yeah.
women have to go with tall guy, blah blah blah." But at the end of the day, there's certain things that number one, men have to play a role in that. It's going back to the oppression of women.
Yeah, men have to
For
play a role
years.
with that. But I
Like-
thought we agreed that we're coming out of that.
No, I know, but then I'm gonna,
Yeah.
kind of get into that. So again, there's this whole thing about women wanting to feel safe and whatever the case may be. Even though I think that's such a Stone Age mentality sometimes,
I don't
you're
think
right.
so. But anyway.
But anyways,
I need
it's
to write
like
this down. Keep going.
yeah, but oh my god, I almost lost my train of thought. The thing is, with women wanting a man taller than them, I don't really blame them, to be honest, because it's like, okay, I don't know, maybe it's just a thing because at the end of the day, we all love aesthetics. It's the same way that a lot of people, like, I could look at someone's face even and kind of disregard everything else. It's like, okay, that's you, like okay, that's somebody I would like to move to. Like at the end of the day, all of these things are aesthetics. Like you're not gonna move to someone that you don't find attractive, at least from face value. Like, so even little things like that, like it's all aesthetics. Even though an aesthetic to you could be like, to someone could be your face, your body. Yeah, even us, like deeply, like a lot of times when we're looking face value, like as a guy, you're looking at her body or whatever the case may be, and then while we might not necessarily look for height, women might.
Is it really?
But
Is
still
it?
hypocrisy.
This is still hypocrisy, bro.
It is, but it's like wait.
But it's
actually,
what?
stop. Pause. How is it hypocrisy?
I mean, how can you say that? Okay, for example, say a man comes out, yeah.
Okay.
He says he likes a particular body type. That's
Okay.
seen as unacceptable. But then a woman can come out and say that she wants 6 foot man.
Okay, that's not okay.
Not only will they say that, but they will also actively clown the men who are below 6 foot.
Yeah, that's hypocrisy. That's beyond the shadow. See, that beyond the shadow of a doubt. That is hypocrisy. Not even just hypocrisy. It's stupid. And even a lot of these things, it's actually. So one of my friends, big up Cav. I know he'll be happy I'm sharing this information. But basically, him and his flatmates, he lives mostly with women. Obviously, a lot of them were like, "Oh, I need a man that's 6 foot, blah blah blah." Even though none of them are 6 foot, and only one of them is actually particularly tall, and she's 5'7". Cool. So then Cav said, "You know what? Cool. I want you to go to the wall and point to where you think 6 feet is." All of them got it wrong, and the tallest height that all of them pointed at was 5'10". Bro, I am 5'10". And the difference between 5'10" and 6 feet is not that tall. But at the end of the day, it just shows that it's not even really like a height different thing that you really want. It's the number. It's really the number, and all of that is just because of society standards. You don't really give a fuck about the difference in height between you and the guy. It's that number. Because if you can say, "Oh, he has to be 6 foot," whatever the case may be, and you don't even know what 6 feet is, then doesn't that just go against your point of wanting 6 feet?
It does. I feel like if we are actually coming out of the Stone Age mentality of someone has to be taller than me, and that shows that he's more protective, blah blah blah. If that's the reason why you're not going for guys shorter than you, you're championing equality, which you should.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of hypocrisy, because
it is absolutely.
It's like you claim that we're all equal and it doesn't matter, but at the same time you want to feel protected. You want him to still play that gender role of being the protector.
Mm-hmm.
But we're equal. I mean, the one who protects... No, wait. The one who protects someone else is the superior one.
Okay.
Parents protect kids because they're superior.
Is it superior, or they're just in a better position to protect? I won't say that's superiority.
They are superior. They have the power. They're more power. Yeah,
I guess, but
are you gonna ask a kitten to protect you?
Okay, but at the same time, let's go back slightly into this like caveman mentality. We've always said it like, for the most part, men are physically stronger than women.
Yeah.
Okay, so in such an instance, I understand why it's like, okay, imagine now a situation.
But when does physicality come into play in the 21st century? How many times does it really come into play? How many times do you have to beat up a guy? Are we fighting? You get me? How many times do you actually have to actively beat up someone?
Imagine, like you're with your girl, and then you catch one of your ups in the mall, or where, this is something that actually happens, by the way. You catch one of your ups in the mall, wherever the case may be, and then he knocks you out cold, and then he just leaves. Now it's just your girl there looking at you knocked out.
That's toxic.
But being tall, but even
that's also patriarchy, though.
It is patriarchy, and that's men's fault that exists.
My point is, even being tall doesn't even assure that you won't get knocked out.
Very, very true.
Mayweather will knock the
no,
but
at the same time, it's like, it's not even women. This isn't even me trying to do Captain Save a Hole, but then it's like, hey, but at the same time, it's like, it's not even just by being tall. Like, women who say, "Oh, he has to be buff, he has to bang gym, there are a lot of all these other things." And before you get into it, Ifeanyi, right? All of that is hypocritical if you find a problem with men saying, "I like this, I like this, I like this," and if you say that, "Oh, it is like that's not okay to say, you're sexist, you're just following societal norms, blah 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 blah," then that is rooted in hypocrisy as well. Absolutely. That's my thing on that, man.
While we're on the topic of body shaming, listen.
Hey.
I always ask people, like, before we start these conversations, that do they just want someone to insult? Because I know it feels good to insult people. Or do they actually want to solve the problem? Now, if they say
I was about to just...
If they say they actually want to solve the problem, see, I'm not saying that we shouldn't shed light on body shaming or things like that. Absolutely do that. But that can't be the only thing we're doing. Because the uncomfortable truth is there will always be people in this world who will body shame you.
Facts.
And do you know the most fucked up thing? The society standard of what the epitome of beauty is almost impossible to attain. So everybody can be subjected to body shaming in one way or the other. I mean, a guy was telling us the other day that he was big, he gymmed, and now people started calling him skinny.
Yeah.
So it's not something you can escape. Now, how we fix this problem is, in addition to talking about the issues, we should also teach people not to regard the opinions of others as society as much as we do at the current stage.
But Ifeanyi, like, you can't teach mental health. No matter how. So let me finish. You can't. How, bro? It's mental health. Everybody has. Okay, bro.
Let me give you guys a.
You can't teach. Like, let me go into. You cannot teach mental. You can help, but you cannot teach mental health. This is my thing. Everybody is built different, bro. You need to understand. People. No, it's facts. People are built different. I might not respond to certain things that someone's advice or whatever the case may be. Because, like, a lot of people, for example, like you found strength in Eminem. You've spoken about this loads of times, that you found strength in his lyrics, and then that just helped you kind of empower yourself. Some people don't find it that way. Some people don't even have something to empower them at all. Like, they just feel constantly beneath themselves, bro.
Find something. I don't want to.
If you can't find anything, then they're doomed.
That's what I'm saying, but that's why
you're saying
suicide.
I don't want to be misunderstood. I don't want to I'm not. The only reason I'm saying it this simply is because there was a train of thought. We were discussing something. I know that mental health is a big issue. I know it's not as simple as I'm making it seem.
Yeah.
But it is at the same time, it is possible.
You can teach people to have less opinions about that.
Do you know
okay, then can you guys give me like tactics as to how?
That's what I want to say. Do you know what's happening now? Now it's let's make the whole world comfortable for people.
Okay.
You can't control what people do. No matter how much you push the message, don't body shame. Don't body shame. Don't body shame. There will always be somebody who is going to body shame.
Facts.
Now, that doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about it, like I said.
True.
But that also means that in and of itself is not enough.
Yeah. You have to protect yourself as well.
You have to protect yourself.
Yeah, and your health and your mental health. You can't do that. That's the only thing you actually have control over.
It might not be easy, but it's possible. It's not impossible.
I know it's not.
If we do one without the other, we're just deceiving ourselves.
Yo, I understand. This isn't me saying that people should just be like, accept these things, or just be like, oh, like, people are just gonna have to, like, even me, like, I just spoke about it a few minutes ago. It's like, I learned myself. I don't know whether it was a change in environment, a move away from that toxic environment, or was I think that's what I'd even kind of say it was. Because in our secondary school, I was bullied, I was called names, for years. And then once I left that environment, literally, I became the most confident I had ever been. The only thing that literally changed about me is that I grew facial hair. Apart from that, it was just like
some facial hair.
Some, not much. Like I'm not
to speak for the December.
You know,
you can't even laugh. You can't even laugh.
Guy, your feet on scraps.
Poverty beard.
But my point is, a move away from that toxic environment made me the Ohiz that's on your screen or in your ears right now. At least I had the opportunity to move away from the toxic environment. Some people do not have that opportunity to move away from the toxic environment. And
some people don't need to move away from that.
Some people, that's just saying, some people don't. People learn. Again, you learned and just built off this thing or this wall against criticism from people through music. Like, through music. I grew mine through distance. I don't know. You've always been confident, and that's okay. But it is like everybody else, like, learns or grows through certain things in their own ways. So that's why I don't believe that there's this one thing that there's just this universal method of teaching people, like, how to get over things or how to not, like, take criticism.
But
because
we're not saying there's a universal method. All we're saying is
but if you're saying you want to teach people,
all we're saying is
it's
possible.
like, how though? Like, if you want to say it's possible, it's true. Like, how? There needs to be, like, come on, you guys. Like, we're very analytical people.
Okay, let me.
Yeah, think of something. Because
the way mine wasn't as simple as, oh, I'm listening to M, therefore I'm confident. Yeah. What I started realizing is that if someone let's say I don't have a beard now.
Okay.
If someone clowns me for not having a beard, I'm like, okay. Like, this is how I deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, who are you? Are you God? Although I will insult the person back, but these are the things I'm saying.
In your mind. Yeah.
Why? To me, it's like this person is not superior to me. We're all on the
So why
same
does your
level.
opinion?
Why does their opinion matter so much to me?
You're giving them
Doesn't
control.
matter. Thank you.
You're literally
See,
giving them
You're giving
power.
them
I
control.
agree with everything you guys have said because, again, if you want to criticize me, it's like, bro, who are you? You have faults too, and whatever the case may be.
Yes.
But I learned that with this. I learned that my own way.
Yeah.
I built that opinion my own way.
Mhm.
You did it your own way.
Yeah.
I know people with their own stories as to how they overcame bullying, criticism, whatever the case may be. So if you want to say that you can teach people how not to give a fuck, in my opinion, it's like to teach something. It's like in a class, for example, 16 students or whatever the case may be are learning the same process of how to do their times tables, whatever the case may be. It's the same method that they're all going to do. So then if you're trying to say that mental health is this thing that you can like teach, it's like, okay, cool, I need solutions. I need ways in which you plan on teaching people. Because you just gave an example where it's like, okay, you just need to see as, oh, they're not God, whatever the case may be. But some people don't think that way. Some people don't think that way. Some
And
people
why
just
can't-
start thinking.
And why can't they?
Some people, like, that's just the strength
I
of
think
mental health.
you're
Mental health is one of
assuming-
these things
Yeah,
that you can't necessarily just be like, why can't they? Or it doesn't make sense. I don't understand why I can't think that way. Because people's brains work differently.
Fair
like,
enough. Maybe why can't they was the wrong way of expressing it. But we're not just talking about one universal way. You gave an example about, a teacher teaching different kids times table. Not every kid is gonna grasp it at the same rate, but just because they're only teaching one way to learn it.
Okay.
But there are different ways to learn to be confident.
True.
He's not
Very
giving you
true.
one way. Ifeanyi just gave his own personal experience.
Yeah.
Everyone can find it their own way. Now, you saying that it can't be taught is you ruling out every single way, which is incorrect because
Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said it can't be taught. But then if it's a thing where it's like you guys truly believe that it can be taught, and this thing that no,
it can
it's
be
one
taught
thing to
not
say
just
you
for
guys
everyone.
said, for example, is like we should teach. That's an okay thing to do. That's an okay thing to say. And I shouldn't have said it can't be taught. But my thing now is that, okay, let's serve as teachers. You know, we're confident guys, at least of now. Like, I'm a confident guy. Mr. Sakanobi himself. And Okiki, like, we're all fairly confident people now. At least with me, that took time. So then if we're trying to help people watching this or listening to us right now, how to be confident, and how would you go about it? Like, what would you tell someone that is, suffering from suffering from, no self-confidence?
The first thing, now this is just for me. I can only use my personal experience. I'm not a psychiatrist or, know.
Yeah.
But the first thing I think you should do is you need to confront your insecurities and be honest with yourself.
8 Mile yourself.
Thank you. What do you like? I don't know how to put it because my personal experience will not necessarily be the experiences of everybody.
Yeah.
But I think you need to come to... and bro, I don't know, man, because I'm not a psychiatrist.
I think what I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think what Ifeanyi is trying to say is you have to confront your insecurities. Because if you still feel some type of way about your insecurities, then there's still power to use it against you.
Yeah.
But when you know you have insecurities and you're fine with them, someone mentioning it to you won't mean as much.
Then why do you guys always send for me?
Because
let me explain what I mean when I say why you always send for me. When I say, for example, I'm clapped or wherever the case may be. Like, why do you guys always send for me? Because with me, I know my fault. I have a lazy eye, I have a drop lip, my hair is childish, wherever the case may be. Like, I've a lot of these things. Let me even just finish or wherever the case may be. So then when I say it's like, okay, okay,
what you point at me? What are you talking about? Come on.
Okay, when I say I'm clapped or wherever the case may be, that's me owning my reality. That's me owning a mirror, essentially. But that hasn't necessarily stifled me. Like, I'm going to do what I want regardless of what I look like or whatever the case may be. I took what people said to me for years and used it to kind of empower myself.
Why do you have to keep mentioning it?
Yeah.
If you're actually over it.
No.
Okay, actually go
I
first.
actually think that's a good way to cope with it.
Yeah.
The thing is, but I don't think you should be mentioning it outside consistently. I think it's something you can say to yourself, no problem, but to say it outside is a different thing. And then the second thing is that anybody who tells you otherwise is stupid. Because no, it sounds funny, but it's true. No human being has power over another one. Okay, that's not true, but you know what I mean. We're all equal in it. So, but that's my personal thing, like I said. Because if somebody insults me, I'm like, okay, who are you? And the thing I like about society standards of beauty is that it's practically impossible to achieve. So if somebody is insulting me for something aesthetic, I mean, there's always something I can say back to that person.
You know how you were talking about, if people are watching this and they want to gain confidence. I think aside from, confronting your insecurities, I feel like, you actually doing that, like I said before, is taking power away from them.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? It's almost liberating yourself, man.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Because when, like you mentioned to yourself, I mean, you think you're clapped. I don't think you're clapped. I'm sure Ifeanyi doesn't think you're clapped. But if you think that, and if that's what's been used against you, owning it gives power to you. So even if someone tells you, yeah, you're clapped, I'm like, yeah, no, bro.
Yeah, no.
And so
That's
what?
the thing. That's
But
that's how I've
There's a
taken it
difference
though.
between that and bringing it up.
Mentioning
unprovoked.
it unprovoked.
It's not a thing that I bring it up unprovoked.
We have
the way,
receipts.
we have episodes
We
to
have
say, so it's not a thing.
receipts.
It's not like we'll be talking about SARS and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm ugly. Like, bro, like.
No, obviously that would be very irrational. But we can be talking about a beauty-related topic, and you just go, yeah, but I'm clapped.
Okay.
You deny
your
it.
point. I see what you're saying.
Do you get what I mean?
I think for the purposes of our American listeners, we should explain to them what clapped means.
So
is a
yeah,
very
is
good
clapped
point.
even a Nigerian term?
Not Nigerian, it's
No,
British.
British first. So clapped is someone who's not good looking. Do you get what I mean? Someone who's
Yeah.
ugly. Yeah.
Context for our American listeners. Thank you for being here, subscribing.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just think in general, like, just in line with the whole video that we watched earlier on that has been circulating around, it's like at the end of the day, everybody is free to do whatever they want.
And everyone
Move to
and there
whoever
are
they
things everyone has an insecurity.
That's what I was
Just
about to
remember
say.
that. So when
Just
someone
don't-
is clowning you for your insecurity, they have something that
Just
they're
what we're
dealing with.
saying, we're all
They're
different,
projecting.
you know.
And
They're
more time they're
projecting.
projecting. Yes.
Projecting, yeah.
They might not be projecting what, like, your own insecurity, like, you know what I mean, if they call you ugly, it might not mean that they think they're ugly, but they might think something else of
Else is
themselves.
wrong with
Do you
them.
get what I mean?
So the only
Yes.
way that they can make themselves feel good is by making someone else feel
Yeah,
bad.
and those are cowards,
And if you
man.
know all these things, then
But not
If-
everyone knows these
then
things.
this
I
is why
didn't
we
know
need to-
these things.
This is why we need to talk about it. That's what I'm talking about, teaching.
Yeah,
we
and that's
need
why
to
it's
talk about
possible
it,
to
yeah.
teach people about
You just
it.
need to
Okay.
make them know
Do you get what I
these
mean?
things.
Yeah.
That even the people listen, like another thing that, helped me was realizing that even the people you hold sacred to you, be it a celebrity or whatever, they have their own insecurities also.
Yeah.
You're not different. It's something everyone has to deal with. And confidence isn't the ability to go out and insult people or just be shouting up and down. Confidence is the ability to say, okay, look, these are my insecurities. These are things I don't like about myself. Okay, then, and be able to live with it and not let it affect you.
Nothing is new under
Obviously,
the sun,
it's not going to
man.
be simple. It's not going to be easy. It's not
Do
going
you
to
get what I
work
mean?
overnight like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's better than not confronting it, trying to bury it. That doesn't.
I don't know if another way of looking at this is thinking you're not special. So, if you think that your insecurity is the worst thing ever, it's almost making you feel like you're special, that your defect is special, but it's not. You wouldn't be the first person to have this insecurity, and surely you would not be the last. So having this at the back of your mind is, human beings have been going through this for time. I'm just one of the people going through this.
That's a very good way to actually look
yeah.
at
It's
it.
good
I
look
kinda-
at it, yeah.
And at
It's
the
a very
same
good way to
time-
look at it.
At the same time, I've noticed that more often than not,
Yeah.
at least in my personal life, there are things people don't like about themselves that I don't even notice. And the only reason I become aware of it
Bro.
is
Because of
they
their
mention it.
Yes.
There's a
Yes.
quote that says, no one notices your insecurities more than you.
More than you,
And that's
yeah.
also why I think that people shouldn't be going around saying things like that. Like,
Yeah, I'm
okay,
clapped.
I'm clapped.
Yeah.
Something like. Most times people don't even notice these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Do you
it's
know what I
living
mean?
life, man. It's not as easy to do than to say. But
Yeah, it's a lot easier said than done. In truth, fine.
You know what? We're spreading love on this podcast. You know, everyone
Always, bro.
everyone should just love themselves. I know it sounds really cliche, but I'm gonna keep saying it. You know, I'm on my Jesus mode just now.
You.
Yeah, today, you know, I feel like everyone should just. We all know that we don't like something about ourselves. It might not be physical, it might be psychological, it might not be psychological, it might be financial, but everyone wants something better for themselves. But just because you're dealing with something doesn't mean you have to project it on someone else. Do you get what I mean? And if you're dealing with an insecurity, face it. I tell you, you're not the first person to have that.
If you face it, you give yourself control.
100%.
If you're praying, if you're hiding away from your insecurity, and you're hoping that people
won't
do it, you're giving. I don't know if I've expressed that properly. You know.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
By facing it head on, you're giving power to yourself.
Yeah.
Whether you fail or you succeed, the power belongs to you.
Yeah.
Instead of depending on people not to make you feel a sort of way, because you can't control what people do at the end of the day.
Just go 8 Mile it, man. 8 Mile it.
Yeah,
That's why when Eminem dissed himself before they could diss him,
It's
he had won that
genius
battle.
because it's like
He had
there's
won it.
nothing
Yeah.
you could say.
You know,
Do you
that's
know what I
why there's sort of, I wouldn't say I look up to people, because human beings can disappoint you. But if you look at the people I revere, should I say, M and Jose, people like that are very real. In that when there is something they don't like, or they can admit when they failed at something.
Yeah.
You know, that to me, that's confidence.
Yeah, admitting when you're wrong. Admitting that, okay, I don't have that.
Or I wasn't good enough.
I wasn't
for
good enough for
but I'm
this.
good enough at this other thing. So
Yeah.
fair enough.
And the thing is, even the people I look up to are great at like a Kanye West, for example. He's bipolar, and he's always said that he's called his bipolar like disability. He calls it an ability, by the way. He calls like him being bipolar his superpower.
Yeah.
Something that is usually
Kanye is mentally ill. Yeah. Okay. And I don't know if that's an insecurity for him. Do you get what I mean? But being bipolar is not a superpower.
No, but that is what he oh man, how do I even phrase this? But it's like it's like a coping mechanism, innit? He sees his bipolar like fine.
That has led him
it's
to
a
stop
mental
taking
illness.
I watched an interview, and that thing he said
before Kanye West was rudely sent for. Fine, Kanye West is an extreme situation because yes, he does call his bipolar disorder a superpower, but has used that as an excuse to not take his meds, which he shouldn't be doing. But let me just personalize it and make it.
Kanye.
Let's just personalize it and make it back to a me thing. Like I said, for the longest I was called this and that and whatever the case may be. So then it became like, okay, fine, this is my reality. So I'm just going to take it as it is. It might not be true, but I'm just going to take it at face value as like, okay, fine, this is what it is. But at the same time, now I'm going to take that as an ability in of itself, because even with that, the fact that I've not necessarily been struggling in the woman department in terms of the dating world and haven't really had to
good one.
Big man.
Teach me your ways.
And when we are
I
picking
need
you
to
up,
learn
you'll be
from
arguing.
you. I need to learn from you.
Write a book.
How did you even achieve this with only a goatee?
Fuck.
So me, they're not
Why you
having-
saying fuck for? Are you crazy?
Are you crazy for me?
But my point is like even with that,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, cool. Like I'm not society's conventional idea of what an attractive man is. I'm not 6 feet. I don't have a full beard. I'm not buff, or whatever the case may be. But again, I'm not struggling in that department. So I just see that as I'm definitely interesting enough, I guess, so people see me as something deeper than I'm, because a lot of these things, this whole analogy is going to be incredibly moist. But I see
There's no such thing as moist, man. Please keep going.
I see every individual as like a house. General attractiveness, such as face, body, it's a gate. You could have a really nice gate in front of your house here, but then the gate covers the house. Behind the house could be one of the, like, it could be a terrible yard, bro. Or it could be a nice yard as well. And I would say that with me, for example, I don't have a particularly nice gate. I have a very average gate. And that's what you see. But then if you have a chance to open that gate, You're gonna say man.
That is moist.
It's mad moist.
That is
innit?
quite moist. But
It's
the thing
mad
is,
moist,
why are you
innit?
using this as a? It's like you are almost selling yourself. My guy's advertising himself. This is the craze.
Oh damn!
My guy's advertising himself.
There's no advertising, bro. This is not just me, but then
It's just
anyone
fact.
can just
It's
feel
just
like
fact.
that.
Challenge
Yeah,
everything.
like I particularly feel like I have a nice house.
Do you know what I mean?
But
No, I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel you.
that's how I feel about that, bro.
Yeah, I feel you. But at the same time, yeah, the game matters.
The game, obviously, the gate is the
To-
first. That's the thing.
To
important
whoever's
thing.
reviewing the house.
Yeah. The
Or
gate
whoever's-
is the first
But
thing
also
you
remember
see.
that the
You
gates,
cannot deny that the gate is the first thing you see.
Yeah, so it is important.
But the gate
to
is
some
also
people. Yeah.
the gate is
Yeah.
also subjective. So just because
That's what
one or two
Yeah.
people
Take,
don't like the gate
take.
doesn't
Yeah.
mean other people.
Yeah.
And also, I'd like to state that when I was talking about my personal experience, there's something I overlooked,
Okay.
and that is it's easier to get over something when you have people in your life bigging you up.
Bro.
Now, we also have to admit that some people don't have that.
That's
People
supposed
don't have that support system.
Yeah.
That support system, and I think that's where the internet comes in. So now there's actually a way where they can see people who aren't actually in their immediate vicinity, and hopefully we have helped somebody do that. See that's not that deep. Also, I mean, M worked for me. It might not work for you, but I think you should give people like that
Distance
a try.
away from a bad situation might not even
Yeah.
work for you either.
I mean, seeing a guy like that, and by the way, I'm 21, so I started listening to M after all his best stuff had dropped, so it's not like I was following him. Seeing someone like that with that kind of backstory, this may be a bit moist, with that kind of backstory, everything that happened to him, he's a white boy in a black-dominated industry, and still be able to get up, and achieve everything he did. It just shows you that it's not the end of the world,
It's
if one or
not.
two people don't like you. I mean, I always, another way I cope is, you look around you. If you're fortunate enough to be a football fan, we have Messi and we have Ronaldo. Now, with everything those two have done, I promise you, there are some people in this world who swear they are frauds.
And they're finished.
And they're finished player. We were watching a game the other day.
Yeah.
Ronaldo hadn't scored for 80 minutes. He scored after the 80th minute. You know what the commentator said?
That's the end of his mini goal, Charles.
The standards are incredibly high.
It's
So
it's so high.
The
it's
lesson you should
ridiculous.
take away from this is, people will think what they want to think. Bro.
Yeah.
I think
facts.
I honestly think people would think what they want to think. So you might as well just live your life.
I want to say something, and this.
And I'm
has to-
gonna say something too before the
This has to
episode
go with the
ends.
foundation of this whole beauty standards thing. Yeah, you know how they've both talked about how they got their confidence, to overcome whatever adversity they were facing. I feel like I didn't speak about my personal experience, so I feel a bit cheated. So I will just now.
Because you said you were confident.
I'm going to tell you why
always.
I've always been confident. I mean, I didn't
Okay.
say that. You said that. You all said that.
No, you. Well,
I said that as well.
VAR
Yeah.
is there.
I feel like the reason why I've always been like this is because of my mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
you got mumsy.
You know, my
auntie.
mom has always told me that I'm a good-looking kid, and that might seem. I feel like parents should do this to their kids. They should keep telling their kids that they're wonderful, they're good-looking, so that when they step out, thank you. So even when they step out to the outside world and someone tries to play on their mind, they don't. They already have this support system back home. We're literally just talking about support systems. I feel like the first one should be your parents.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It
absolutely.
goes
The
such a
first
long
one's there,
way.
Yeah.
And that was what's always been for me, because my mom, she's like popped out of her. She's always been bigging me up. She's my biggest fan. Yeah,
Shout out to my mom too, man.
Shout out to Mom
Dad,
C.
I didn't forget about you too.
100%, man. She's always bigging me up. And even when I went to school, I mean, I've never really been subjected to like facial abuses or anything. But even when I was abused in any way, I would always remember, bro, my mom said I'm the best. So what
You
I did-
therefore must be
I
chatting.
have
Who
to
are
be,
these
because my
people?
mom cannot be lying.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? You get me? I mean, now that I'm looking back at it, I feel like was a bit techie, but at that time, my state of mind believed that.
Yeah.
And it's important, especially for kids who are growing up. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before I round up, I did think about something. There is a way that you can actually teach people
Of course,
how.
there's a way.
Yeah, there is at
There's
least
always- we're
different
trying to convince
methods
you there was.
in how
You get
to
what I mean?
teach people how to be self-confident and not really look towards themselves but always criticize themselves. You watching here, if you're the person that's suffering from self-confidence right now. I want you to do me a favor. Go on Instagram, yeah. Look at the people that you're following and look at the unrealistic standards a lot of them are, such as I don't want to say certain celebrities, but there's certain people that are, selling a narrative that, oh, do this to get this body, even though a lot of it is surgery based or whatever the case may be. A lot of this stuff from Instagram, social media, it's all superficial. I've spoken on this loads of times. I don't follow like people like supermodels or gym freaks or whatever the case may be, because it's like I don't care enough. I genuinely couldn't give a fuck less. For the most part, if I follow people I know or people I am genuinely inspired by, be it that humanitarian work or music or whatever the case may be. Once you subject yourself to constantly looking at something that you're even insecure about, that all that's going to do is build up even more insecurities within you. If your Instagram screen is just women with these unrealistic bodies, it's like, this is as a woman, by the way.
If you're secure enough in yourself, it might not have to be a factor. It might not be.
Yeah, but this is, that's why I preface this with people that are not.
Okay, fair, yeah.
I preface this with people that are not, because people can see that and say, well, whatever. Yeah. But then for people that are not, if you're if you're subjecting yourself to all that and you see that as why can't I have it? But because people like that exist. We know people like that exist. So if you're subjecting yourself to all that, you're not helping yourself. In fact, you're not even doing yourself any favors. You're pretty much just driving your narrative in your head that I can never look like that.
Don't go kill yourself in gym or top body type, because some of these things are genetic,
Yeah, like some people, your genetics will not even let you get that body. There's a lot of bodies that some of these celebrities even have that they swear is gym and even tummy tea.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that this is a men and women,
it's
not just women or men or just men.
But a lot of these things that you see, whether on Instagram or a lot of it, all this is fake Photoshop surgery. A lot of body types I've seen are physically.
Really?
Hey, nothing's wrong with surgery. Nothing wrong with surgery. But I'm saying that if you're banging, like you brought the example.
Ifeanyi is disputing it.
But I'm saying
I think there's something wrong with surgery.
I mean, should we save this for another episode?
We'll save it for another episode. But my thing is like, if you're banging yourself out in gym, or a lot of people who actually starve themselves or become anemic or whatever, all to reach a specific body type, understand that what you see on Instagram and all the social medias, a lot of it is BS. A lot of it is Photoshop, project of surgery, liposuction even, blah, 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 blah. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with surgery. In fact, if you want to get surgery, do your thing. If you can afford it, you can afford it. But my thing is just don't kill yourself in the name of an Instagram bar. Don't kill yourself in the name of the internet standards of what people should
And
look
if you do want to kill yourself for that body type, make sure it's for yourself. Not for other people.
That's important.
Because you can never... Yeah, you can. Because you can never impress... You can't satisfy everyone. You'll die.
You can't.
Even Jesus, they killed Jesus and he was allegedly perfect.
Yeah,
do you get what I mean?
But yeah, well, that was something. I don't even know how to really. That went super.
Yeah, that went all over the place. Do you know
super
what I mean?
judgmental. Went moist. Like, come on now. But
I wasn't judging anyone. Do
whatever you want. I mean,
not us. Not us.
I just want to say one thing. Like, the fear of sounding judgmental or like a bit of a dick shouldn't stop us from
Yeah, absolutely not.
So
I'm gonna speak.
Literally nothing will change. And also, we're not Jesus, so I mean,
if
we can poke holes in our argument, then I mean, go for it.
Yeah.
Comment section.
I'm gonna speak how I want to speak, regardless. And I know there's stuff here that people are probably gonna disagree that I said, but what is up to you to do now? Is go in the comment section. Tell me where you disagree with me, and then we can have a discussion, bro. You don't have to go in the comments and say I'm a bastard or whatever the case may be.
You can do that. Yeah, I can play both sides, man. You know what I mean? I've been a job boy, man.
But I would actually like, and it's not even like clickbait or whatever they call it, to just get reviews or whatever. We actually want to see it, because if we see sensible points, then we can revisit the episode,
100%.
Because I mean, no man is an island, and we learn every day. So
wisdom,
and it's something that needs to be hammered in, especially this confidence. How,
especially with how social media is
going these days.
Is a very negative thing it causes. If we can contain that, then better for everyone.
Always do your thing.
You already know what it is. Spotify, Apple Music, Anchor, YouTube, and wherever else you get your podcast from. Apart from that, I've been Ohiz, the boys. And yeah, Green Passport, we out.
Thank you, sir.
Also subscribe, Sha, you won't die.
That too. Peace.
Who are we? Any small thing, traffic offense, you're out of here.
No, they have 5 points. Guy, I beg. I say, I don't want that here too. Guy. I don't say, offer for something, offer for me.
Offer, bro. My child, I don't do that. I don't have anything to do.
I beg, see, let me just, let me just come. Wait, just
You don't feel the chance, sir.
relax.